One of the things that I love to do with video games is ending analysis. You're probably wondering what I mean by that. Basically, if a game has multiple endings, I love tracing the path for each of those endings to determine why it leads to that specific ending. Today, we're going to do a little bit of ending analysis for the game Aria's Story. Aria's story features the main character, Aria. She's a little girl who loves books, loves the library. She falls asleep in her library and she gets teleported to a quote fiction universe where she has to traverse through each world based around a specific type of fiction. Since we're doing ending analysis, we need to talk about a key detail for the endings. This Araya that we are playing as is not the original. She is a copy of the original. The original Araya was killed by a hunter, and her friend has a reality altering feather. It can rewrite reality as he sees it. And since he missed his friend so much, he rewrote Raya back into existence. This game that we're playing as is a trial to determine is this Araya, is this copy the exact same, or is she different? Therefore, each of the endings is a possible outcome, be it good or bad. In Araya's story, there is a few key choices that determine the ending. The first is whether or not you go through a pink door. This pink door leads to Araya's room, or a replica of Araya's room. If she goes through that pink door, she figures out that she is fictional. The second is whether or not you lie to Lewin, the character who told you do not go through the pink door. The third, or it's actually 3 through 5, is a series of questions that Clyde asks you, and he's trying to determine how similar you are to the original Araya with those questions. They can have an effect, but not always, not in every ending. First ending that we're going to talk about is the normal ending. And for the normal ending, Araya chooses to trust Lewin and not go through the pink door. Because she doesn't go through the pink door, there's nothing to lie about. Whenever it comes to Clyde's questions, she answers all of them exactly as he wants her to. And what this means, since she doesn't find out the truth that she's a fictional character, and since she's displayed the same personality as the original, which is, again, what the questions were looking for, then everyone else in her friend group adopts her as the new Araya. Next up, we're going to talk about the true ending. For the true ending, Araya does go through the pink door, which means she finds out she's just a fictional character. And when Lewin asks her, hey, did you go through the door? She's entirely honest with him. And so he doesn't bother her with it again. He doesn't ask her about it, nothing, because she told him the truth. When Clyde eventually asks her the 3 questions to determine is she like the original, she answers all of them exactly as he wants her to adopt her as the new Araya. But since she has the knowledge that she's fictional, she stops them. She says, by the way, I'm not real. And Clyde reveals the truth to her that he rewrote her back into existence because the original died and they missed her so much. They couldn't bear to go on without her. And in this moment, instead of choosing to go along with it, she encourages them to rewrite her back, to erase her, so they can get true closure. Because, yes, she's an exact copy of the original Araya, but she's not their Araya. She doesn't want them to be, quote, living a fake life. And that's my wording, not hers. But she wants them to gain proper closure. Next up, we have the good and bad ending. Each one is accomplished in the same way with one small deviation. In this one, Araya goes through the pink door. She not only goes through the pink door, when Lewin asks her about it, she lies to his face, which is what actually triggers this different ending. But another small detail I noticed is you can actually get one of Clyde's questions wrong, just one, and it will still give this specific ending. For this ending, it's actually discussed that this one is different. This Araya isn't the same as the others. And she talks to the group and says, yeah, I know I'm fictional, but I'm also my own person. I want to live. I do not want to be just erased. I don't want to be just a copy. I want to be my own person. And so she asked Clyde, who is the holder of the feather, can I be my own person? And at this point, Clyde gets to choose what he wants to do. He can accept it or he can deny it. By the way, I just realized I haven't been doing as I said I would do. I haven't been explaining how each of these steps leads to the ending and why that's significant. For the normal ending, Mariah doesn't go through the pink door. She doesn't find out she's fictional. Doesn't matter. She doesn't lie to Lewin because there's nothing to lie about. And she answers all of Clyde's questions, which proves she's the exact same, which leads to her being adopted as the new Araya. For the true ending, goes through the pink door, finds out she's fictional, everything else the exact same as the original Araya, which leads to her revealing that she's fictional, and the rest of her friends getting closure because of her encouragement to do so. For this ending, she goes through the pink door, finds out she's fictional. She then lies to Lewin, proving she's different. The answering the one question wrong is an option because if she does answer the one question wrong, it proves she's similar enough to not just be a nuisance, but she is also different and still her own person. Now we can move on to the two endings that this scenario can bring about. If Clyde chooses to accept her request to be her own person, he hands the reality altering feather to Lewin, the author of the group, who takes a good amount of time to write a story and rewrite reality where she can live on her own as her own person with the name Wendy. She ends up getting slowly integrated into that original friend group, but she is very different from the original Araya, as they've seen and shown. If Clyde doesn't accept her request to be her own person, he rewrites reality again. He brings Araya back into the world, basically goes back in time and rewrites it. But another one of his friends dies instead. Does it again and again and again. He goes through these scenarios where he's trying to rewrite all of his friends into reality to where they can all be happy together, but it doesn't work. Someone dies every single time. So he sacrifices himself. That way, all of his friends, the ones he loves, can live a happy ending, even if it's without him. Finally, we have the perfect ending, or the second bad ending. To get this one, Araya has to go through the pink door, finding out that she's a fictional character, and she has to answer two or all three of Clyde's questions wrong, proving that she is substantially different than the original Araya. You're probably wondering about the lie or telling the truth to Lewin. In this one, it doesn't matter if she lies or tells the truth because this Araya is actively hiding her true nature. In this one, she knows that she is fictional and it makes her mad. So, what she chooses to do is get revenge for herself and every other fictional character that has been used by humanity for their entertainment. She steals the reality altering feather from Clyde and kills them because they were the ones that used her. And upon having the feather in her grasp, she releases all fictional characters onto humanity and takes her place at the top as the queen of fiction. It's at this point that she reveals that she knows about you and me playing the game. And the game starts to say bad ending, but she stops it and says, no, that's not what this is. This is a perfect ending. It's my perfect ending. Effectively ruining the story that was supposed to be for our enjoyment. If you happen to enjoy and you stuck around this long, please subscribe and give a thumbs up because I make content like this all the time. So, I'll see you guys next time.